Hello, class.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Great.
Good.
Awesome. So today we're going to study the scientific method, and one component of the scientific method involves questioning the world. So my big question today is, which gum blows the biggest bubbles? So my first step here was to create a hypothesis. So I thought if we blow bubbles with juicy fruit gum, they will be larger than the bubbles blown from Trident gum. Part of being a good scientist is thinking about the world and looking at it through different lenses. So if I created a question, something that I was thinking about, which gum blows the biggest bubbles? And from that, I decided if we blow bubbles with juicy fruit gum, they will be larger than bubbles blown from Trident gum. This is my hypothesis. So what can you guys deduce about what a hypothesis is? What are your thoughts about what a hypothesis is? Edante?
Is it like a guess?
Yeah, great. It's a thought about what could be a potential outcome, a claim that you're either going to prove or disprove. Yes?
So what if Trident blows bigger bubbles?
So if Trident blows bigger bubbles than juicy fruit gum, basically all you're doing is disproving your hypothesis, which is another successful experiment, because either way you're finding out new information. Any other questions? Any thoughts? Yes, Will?
How do you determine if your hypothesis is true or not?
By conducting an experiment. That's an excellent question. An important ingredient for the scientific method is to look at our variables. Does anyone know what a variable is? Yes.
That's what we're measuring, right?
Yep, exactly. So you can find that on your sheet. We have the definition there. A variable is what is being measured. So there are two variables specifically that we will look at. An independent variable and a dependent variable. The independent variable is what the researcher is changing. What do you guys think the dependent variable would be? Any thoughts? Just give it a shot.
What the researcher isn't changing?
Great, so the researcher isn't changing it because we're testing the results, the impact of the independent variable on the dependent variable. The dependent variable is influenced by the independent variable. So in this case, we're only going to measure one dependent variable. Now let's revisit our hypothesis. We said if we blow bubbles with juicy fruit gum, they will be larger than bubbles blown from Trident gum. So let's take our juicy fruit gum, chew it for a little bit. Now that you've blown your bubbles with juicy fruit gum, what is the other independent variable that we're testing out? What are we comparing the juicy fruit to? Yes.
The Trident.
Great. And this is the variable that we are
Changing.
awesome. What were the independent variables?
The type of gum?
Great. Would you please come up here and write that on the board? Under independent variable. Awesome. So the type of gum. And what was the type of gum influencing? Yes.
The size of the bubble.
Exactly. Perfect. So that is our, Will, what is it?
Dependent variable.
Awesome. Would you please write that? Zach, would you please write it on the board?
Oh.
Great. Does anyone have any questions right now? Any concerns? So we can apply...
You couldn't blow bubbles with that.
That's all right. The main point here is that we can apply independent and dependent variables to any experiment. So, for example, you could say the amount of hours that I sleep for, you could change that. You could say I sleep for 10, I sleep for 11, I sleep for 5. That would be the independent variable. Impacts my ability to perform on a test. So then the dependent variable would be the grades. That is affected by the hours of sleep. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
The scientific method will give you the tools to analyze the world according to a few rules. Question the world around you.
Look out and break through.
Research the subject
To
know all that is true. Form a hypothesis, which is the proposed claim. Conduct an experiment. What does the data proclaim? Repeat the results. Are they still the same? Great work.